We're glad you're with us tonight. I'm Lynn Brooks.
And I'm Terry Brewer. Topping your news tonight, Hurricane Irene is barreling toward the United States.
The hurricane cut a path through the Caribbean today, so could it be on the way toward the Gulf?
The latest now on where Irene is and where it could be headed is in your top story. Irene hit Puerto Rico with strong winds and rain, downing trees and flooding streets, cutting power to more than 1 million people. There were no reports of deaths or major injuries thus far. Now officials in Florida are preparing for the threat of Irene. So is there a chance the hurricane could be headed toward the Gulf of Mexico? With the answer to that, Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott is monitoring the very latest. He has an update and a first check of your weather.
Hey, Terry and Lynn, good Monday afternoon to you. The good news is the question or the answer to that is no. This thing is not coming for the Gulf of Mexico. It's going to hit the eastern seaboard in several days. And Hurricane Irene getting better organized this afternoon. It looks like it's going to stay just north of the big islands, the mountainous islands of Dominican Republic and Cuba, which is bad news. It means much more strengthening is likely. Winds right now sustained at 81. And here's that path right through the Bahamas. So bad news, you've got plans trip out to the Bahamas or the East Coast, Category 3, maybe even a Category 4 hurricane is possible. Then it moves up the eastern seaboard. Well, what about the rest of the forecast and even your weekend forecast? We do have some changes to talk about. Home team weather is coming up.
Thank you, Richard. On your election watch, in just a few hours, voters head to the polls to vote on Sunday alcohol sales. Residents in Northport and Tuscaloosa County will cast their votes tomorrow. The referendum is the same as the one City of Tuscaloosa voters passed earlier this year. It would allow businesses to sell alcohol on Sundays from noon until 9:30 p.m. Several businesses and leaders in Northport and Tuscaloosa County have told WVUA the option to sell on Sunday is needed to compete with Tuscaloosa, but some officials in Northport and Tuscaloosa County, they do not support the idea.
When we brought Midtown to Tuscaloosa without Sunday alcohol sales, I think we could bring a hotel and some development to downtown Northport without Sunday alcohol sales.
I understand the validity of the argument on it, for revenue streams and sources. I just don't think that the future hinges on Sunday alcohol sales.
Here's a look at polling places for people who live in Northport. District 1 will vote at the Northport Community Center. District 2, the Sprayberry Center. District 3 at Fawcett Vestavia Elementary School. District 4 at Northport Civic Center. And District 5 will vote at Flatwoods Elementary School. There are 54 polling places in Tuscaloosa County. If you have questions about where to vote in Northport or in Tuscaloosa County, you can call the county courthouse. Here's the number, 205-349-3870. Polls are open from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. And remember, people living in the city of Tuscaloosa will not be able to vote tomorrow. Of course, you can count on your home team for complete coverage of tomorrow's Sunday alcohol vote.
Tonight is your chance to get questions answered about Alabama's new immigration law. In Holt tonight, the North Alabama Conference of the United Methodist Church is hosting a public discussion on the new law. Alabama's law has lots of people asking what all of it means for them. You're looking at video from another meeting on immigration that was held this weekend in Tuscaloosa. Organizers say tonight's meeting is a time for Methodists and other members of the community to explore the law and how to respond to the law in light of their faith.
We want to be peaceful, but we want to make a difference. And I think people are people, and I think prejudice runs deep. And I think God doesn't call us to prejudice, but He calls us to action on behalf of others.
When you have a face-to-face conversation with someone, it really opens things up for folks who may have certain positions, whether with immigration or whatever else. But this face-to-face conversations really do something extraordinary, which the internet or a phone conversation or an email can't really do.
Alabama's new immigration law is set to take effect on Thursday, September 1st. The public discussion, again, is at Holt United Methodist Church. That's on Beale Street. It starts tonight at 6:30.
On your crime watch, a former school official in Alabama is facing some serious charges. A former principal has been arrested and charged with sexual battery. According to the Coleman County Sheriff's Office, 66-year-old Thomas Plunkett is charged with sexual battery of a victim under 12 years of age. Officials say the incident happened in Florida. Plunkett is a former principal of Joppa Junior High, Union Grove, and Claysville Junior High schools, and former assistant principal of Boaz High School. Plunkett retired back in 1998.
Former President George W. Bush is coming to Alabama this week. Bush will be the guest speaker at Heritage Christian University's fundraiser. That's set for Saturday, August 27th up in Florence. University officials say they expect more than 1,000 guests for the speech. Bush is expected to talk about his recently released memoir, Decision Points. Heritage University is a small Church of Christ school. In Florida, a situation most parents can't even begin to imagine, willingly trading your own child for money.
But authorities say that's exactly what one mother was trying to do with her 5-year-old son. Reporter Jonathan Petramela has more.
Accused of trying to sell her own son, 29-year-old Jessica Mickles faced a judge wearing jail stripes. Her next-door neighbors say they knew it was only a matter of time, but even this charge was surprising.
We knew there was something going on, but I never really think somebody would stoop that low to sell their child.
The Pinellas County Sheriff's Office says Mickles tried to barter her son to a couple she met at church for $2,000. But instead of taking the offer, James Gardner told detectives Saturday morning about the deal. Within hours, a sting was set up, and deputies arrested Mickles when they say she showed up in Seminole to sell her son. Skylar Wilson says the 5-year-old was always knocking on her door.
I want to come over to your house. I don't want to go to my mom's.
It may have been because of the living conditions inside his home next door.
There's times when they didn't have any toilet paper, and she'd come over and ask for toilet paper because he used his socks and clothes to use toilet paper.
Officials say the boy is unharmed and safe in child protective custody, while his mom sits in jail with a $10,000 bond for trying to sell him.
That was Jonathan Petramela reporting. Officials say the child doesn't have any relatives in the state. Authorities were expected to meet this morning to try and figure out who should get custody of the boy.